All right, Coach, you've won other state championships, but tell me why today's state title may have been the toughest yet.
Well, there's a lot of circumstances that go into winning a state title, and I think that first that we were thin as bacon, and so to speak. I mean, we only played about 14, 15 people, so our depth was an issue. We stayed healthy all year long. We lost a guard after week 1, lost him for about 4 weeks. Had to move a tight end in there to play that deal. Cost us a ball game probably. And then Colin gets hurt, win the fourth quarter. And that's it. That's the only 2 injuries we had. And very fortunate to win the game. But these kids are resilient. They really are. And they're tough-minded. And, and they bought into my way I like to do things. I mean, there were a lot of things that had to change. And they took it. I mean, it was tough for a little while. And there's always going to be some second guessers out there, and people that on the outside are going to say, well, he really didn't do it, the other guy did. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. They won. They were resilient. They were tough-minded. They were versatile. And they bought into what we were selling them as a staff. And I think they did a good job of preparation. And I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to prepare. You got to practice hard. And they did. So I'm happy for them. And yeah, but it was difficult. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's probably one of my toughest ones to win in my career. It was hard. I go back and think about it. There was one in Georgia. It was tough in 14. We won 28-24. And probably 03 Hoover. Probably shouldn't have won that one either. We did, but we've lost a bunch. We should have won. So I was wondering if we was gonna have that because right there at the end, I got beaten 17 just like that with a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
So I was having bad feelings right there.
Did this season change your philosophy coaching-wise at all?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go back to when I was at Asheville or playing at Ohatchee. And to be honest with you, it was a challenge every week to figure out how you was going to practice and how you could be efficient in practice because the numbers are so low.
Yeah.
They've been bringing in 8 or 10, 12 players a year. Well, they brought one in. That was our quarterback. That's when we got one player. So we had 8 seniors, 9 seniors, 8 of them that started, 1 quarterback move in, and then 4 or 5 juniors and 4 or 5 sophomores, and that's it. And so, like I said, we're playing 15 kids, and we had to stay healthy, but we had to practice hard. So it was a little bit of both, and but again, it's a special championship. It really is. It's one that you wasn't sure that you could get, but I knew we had a chance. When we got in the playoffs, I felt like we could have a chance. We could just stay healthy. And then we got behind last week 14-0, and we fought back and won. This one right here was special because of how we won it and how an unsung hero, number 11, Joseph East, and that kid came from Africa.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And he won. Didn't know how to speak English when he got here. He helped us win, and Mac Long helped us win on that last drive. Without that, and we could have held our heads when Colin went down because he's one of the top 10 best I've ever coached.
Yeah. Coach, you won, obviously, state titles at Hoover. You won in Georgia. What does this one here this year in the state of Alabama mean to your legacy?
I don't really worry about my legacy that much. I worry about – I think that what it means to me is that you can take a group of kids that buy into your system in a short time and find a way to win. That's what I think. I think when we started out 0-2, it could have gotten tough, and it didn't. It did for a little bit. We had people wondering what I was doing and why am I changing the culture and why am I changing this, why am I changing that. But as we did that, all the griping started. Yeah. And then we just sort of blocked out the noise and said, to heck with it. We're going to do what we do because I've been here too many times. And so we did, and they slowly bought in. And I just told them, I said, you can't win it like you've been playing. You're not going to win a championship doing what you've done the last few years. So we had to change a lot, and so we did. And I'm proud of them for handling that part and buying into how I do things. And to me, that's what I'll remember. That's what I'll remember is a group of kids who bought in and didn't fight me on it. And although some of the parents may have, they didn't. And I spend a lot of time coaching football, and I ask the players to do a lot. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, you got to be a special athlete to play, And I think they are. And I'll always remember this group. I really will always remember this group. And they'll be a special group for me now.
Coach, my last question. You're just short of 40 years old. You're fresh. You got the juices going. What does the future look like for Rush Probst? Where are you going to be in 2026?
You know where I am in 25, but in 26, 27, I'm going to coach football. I mean, I'm a coach. That's what I am. I'm a football coach. Although I've started a business with 4 of the men, and I have a grandson that was here tonight that's close, and I know they can't move if I moved. But I have 2 granddaughters in South Georgia that I dearly miss that are 6 and 3. But I have 7 children, and I love each and every one of them. We're a close-knit family, all 7 of us, and my wife, and so it'll be a family decision. It'll be a family, those 7 children. Of course, I got one in California as an Army Ranger. I got one in Denver, Colorado. My daughter's in Atlanta. My oldest son's living in Gadsden with me. And then I've got my 3 younger children, one in Pell City at 21, and one in Jack State, and one in Gadsden State. That's my youngest. So, and then I've told you about my 2 grandchildren. So they'll make that decision. Those kids and my grandchildren will make those decisions on what Rush Propst does. But I really want to coach, and I really want to coach. And I think that I've got a lot left. I think I got another 5, 6, 7 years left in me. I mean, I'm 67 years old. I mean, I can go at least 6, if not 7, maybe more. But here's the deal. If I retire, I've already retired before and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because you know what the next thing after retirement's death. I don't want to do that. And I felt like when I was retired, I got bored fast. And I was like, Rush Propst has to be in the grind. He has to be in that rat in a cage. Rush Propst has to do that. For my life, I have to do that. I can't sit back in retirement. I just can't do it. Just can't do it. I'm glad the people who can, but Rush Propst is not one of them.